All right, we should be live. I'm just going to pull up my chat. I should have done this before, but that's okay. Perfect. Okay, so in today's live stream, we will be refactoring our calculator project from yesterday, because our implementation was kind of jank. Oh, hey, Jill, what's up? Man, you're early today. Must be really early over there, eh? Like 6 in the morning or something? Or 5? So anyway, yeah, we're going to be refactoring the calculator because I kind of was thinking about it. Yeah, 6 a.m. That's crazy. I appreciate the dedication. Yeah, I certainly am not awake at 6 in the morning, that's for sure. Yeah, so we're going to be refactoring the calculator. Oh, you repeat again. Yeah, because I was thinking about it today and I had some better ideas for how to implement this. So I think the main, what's it called? Like the main crux of the problem was that the way I was handling state was a little bit overcomplicated and it can be simpler. Oh, you made the calculator with an array approach? That would work too. Like an array for like storing memory. Oh, okay. That'd be cool. That's a good idea. For like storing like, what's it called? Like operators or operands, I guess. So I'm gonna kind of be refactoring this a little bit. It's gonna be similar to what I had before, but hopefully a lot simpler. So I'm going to kind of clear everything out of here except for the basic event listener structure. Actually, you know what? I will put this on a different Git branch. I don't know what I should call this, like experimental. Or I could just do git checkouts. Okay, cool. Okay. So let's just completely gut these functions. Again, I'm not sure I will come to a convincing solution here, but I'm going to try my best and we'll see what happens. Get rid of log state. We'll keep the function. Okay. So first, I'm going to instead have a, like, the way I was kind of thinking about this is to have a primary number that reflects what is actually shown on the display, and then a secondary number, like a memory slot essentially for a second number. But the way I was doing it before, which was kind of confusing, was I was having that secondary number also be updated on the display depending on the order of the operation, and I think that was confusing me. So I'm going to make it so that only the primary number is updated on the display and the secondary number remains just in memory when you press an operator. So I'm going to try that approach. I don't know if that's going to make it easier or not, but I think it's going to be less involved. So we'll find out. I'll say like We could also I should mention that we could also have the memory be an array. I could implement it this way too, where I could have the memory as an array, and then essentially you just push values to the array like it's like a stack, right? And then if you want to iterate through the memory using like, and I'm assuming that's what the m plus and the m minus are here, you can kind of pop and push things to the stack. But I'm not going to do that for the sake of this implementation because I'm not going to go that in detail. But if you want to, you can. And I think, Gil, you already mentioned that you did a sort of similar kind of approach. So let's see. Let's just say memory num. So when we press, you did in GitHub, nice. So yeah, I'm gonna lock in here and think about how I want to do this. So we'll do e.prevent default, and then we'll say we'll do the if actually we could do, I wonder if we should do the input sanitizing in a separate function. So we'll do that. So we'll say function check input, and then we'll say if return huge or just digit or something. We'll do like, okay, we'll say digit is not equal to 0. Or let's see, display num dot length is greater than 1, greater than or equal to 1. Just say greater than 0. And then we'll set like a max length too. We'll say const max num length equals like 12 or something. And then and display num is less than, oops, that's outside of the brackets. So then this check input function essentially just, so then we'll say if check input of the, so if the digit's valid, then we will display num dot append, or we'll just do plus equals. That works too. Digit, and then we want to update the display, so we could just change that to and since the display will only ever display the, what's it called? The display num, we don't actually have to give it an argument because we know it's referring to the display num. So we'll just say the calc display dot text content equals display num. Okay, so that should work for, whoops. Oops, this went live on the wrong browser. Hold on. I want this to go live here. There we go. There we go. So now this should... So if I press... Oh, display num.length. Dumb. So the 0 shouldn't work, and then we do 1, 2, 3, 0, 0, and then we should reach a max length, right? Cool. And then we'll just do clearing real quick. Display num is equal to null. Memory, or not null, but empty string, and then we'll say refresh display. Operator. Clear the operator too. Okay. So then now clearing should work. Yep. Cool. All right, so that's fine. I think this is a cleaner implementation than we had before. Kind of separating out the verification logic in a separate function, or the, not verification, but the like checking the input. So then now we'll do the operators. So I got to think about how I want to do this. So what I want to do is when we click an operator, we want to not update the display right away, but we want to clear the display num variable and move it to the memory num variable, right? We want to store it in memory. And then we want to obviously store the operator as well. So let's get started with that. So there's going to be two cases when you press an operator. Either there is going to be there's going to be an operator assigned, or there isn't going to be. So actually, we don't need to consider whether there's an operator or not. We actually just need to consider whether there's an existing number in memory, right? So if the memory num has content in it, right? So we'll start out with that. So we'll say if memory num is not equal to just an empty string, then we'll do a computation. Otherwise, we will just update the operator. Actually, we can update the operator first. So we can just say operator equals op.textContent. I think, yes. So if it's not empty, we want to actually compute a result, right? So we want to say let result equal and then we want to set the display num. Here's the tricky thing, is we want to refresh the display with the result, but we don't want to actually change the display num variable. And just clear what memory num track? Sorry, what do you mean by that? Let's just try this out. Actually, so this actually does need... this actually does need a display. Okay. And we'll say let result equal... Oh, previous num? Yes. Yeah. So you clear the display num, and then you store it in the memory num variable, and then clear the display num. Which actually we can probably do. Well, we have to do that after this, because if there's nothing in the memory, we don't want to actually. Or sorry, if there is something in the memory, we want to compute a result. But if there isn't something in the memory, obviously there's no second operand, so we can't compute a result yet, right? So we'll do the shifting down here. So we'll say memory num equals display num, and then we'll say display num equals blank. Okay, I think this works. There might be hiccups, but I think this is a better way of approaching this. So we'll say operate or do binary operation with the number of the, because the numbers until you actually do the operation are strings, so I have to convert them to numbers. So the display num, and then the number of the memory num, and then the operator, right? Oh, okay. Sorry. It's all good, Jill. What it tracks. Okay. So the memory num tracks the previously input display num. So if you, let's say you're starting a computation and you write like 1 in the display. When you press an operator, it takes the number in the display, stores it in the memory num variable, and then refreshes the display to accept another number. So you can almost think of the memory num as just like the memory num variable as a stack with that has a size of 1, right? And if you wanted to have a memory feature where the calculator could remember previous operands, you could make the memory num, instead of just a variable, you could make it in a stack. You could implement it as a stack. Right? And then you just pop and push things off of the stack. I think it would work like that. So that, I hope that makes sense. I don't know. But that's kind of what I'm going for here. Yes, perfect. But I'm only storing 1 previous operand or operator. No, operand. I keep getting it mixed up in my head. Sorry. I'm only storing 1 previous operand because just for simplicity. Okay. And then, so when we have the result, we update the display. So what was the function for that called? Refresh display. So what we do is we refresh the display with the result, but we don't update the display num. We keep the display num blank so that when we press another number, it refreshes with the display num, but we just wanted to display the result. And I think that's actually all we have to do in there. And then, so now the operator button should work. So I don't know if it actually, we'll put it to the test. 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus minus. Okay, so obviously, okay. So it's not updating. Why? Oh, because I didn't save the file. That's why. Okay. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus. Wait. Okay, so 1 plus 2 plus 4, that should be 7. But it's 1 backward here. So okay, I know why. Because the display num gets refreshed. I think. Let me think about this. 1 plus 2. Oops. It's because 2 is what's in memory, right? And then 4 is the display num, and then 2 is what's in memory. But what we actually want to do is if we then press, okay, so this is going to be interesting. So what we need to do now is, like, for instance, if you have like a result, so like if we do 1 plus 2 plus, and then we press a number, we need to, the current, like let's redo this. 1 plus 2. Right now the memory num is 2 because that's the last, because of this code here. So the memory num is 2. But when we press 4 and then we press the plus again, 2 is still in memory. instead of the 3 that we just replaced. So when we had just completed a computation and then we press another number, we also have to put whatever was in the display into memory. Again, so there's, I think. So we also have to check for that as well. So yeah, I could also like put this into its own function just for simplicity's sake. So what we'll say is function shift memory or something like that. Maybe update and refresh display. That's kind of what I'm going to do. I'm going to update it when I'm going to update in when a number is pressed, and I'm going to check whether or not something's in the. Oh, good. Actually, you know what? You make a good point. So what you're saying is shift memory in the display. That's actually a good point. That's a good point. Yeah. I got you. So what we'll say, so we'll update the, let me just think about the order about how to do this here. You're right. I hear you. So we can do the memory shifting in the refresh display function. Is that what you were getting at? No, it's all good, Jill. It's all good. No worries. Okay, so let me just like think about this for a second. Because if we I mean, we can have this ancillary function here. Let's see, I'm just gonna. So we put it at, so we pass in the display, right? But I suppose what we also have to do on the check input is we also have to check whether, or not even the check input, but we also have to check whether there's something already in the display, right? That's the confusing part. From an operation. So if something gets put into the display, you just start with that. I think the behavior is not going to change, but I just want to see what happens. Right, okay, so when we press... Oh, because we're not shifting the memory before we update the display. Maybe. Is that what we want to do? I wonder why that's not... Oh, because we're not shifting the memory, because the... What's it called? The memory num might be empty still, so the memory num wasn't actually getting set. So what we want to do is we want to actually return here. And then shift the memory if this clause isn't met, right? which actually would make the putting the shift memory in the refresh display kind of superfluous, because if we just return early here and then handle the shift memory in refresh display, then this isn't good. Like, this needs to be here regardless of how we implement it. So I actually don't think it matters. So we can just keep it the way it was. But that's not going to change the fact that yeah, okay, so if display num yeah, so it's going to be one behind, I see, okay. Could have another check here. I just want to see if this works. If display num is not equal to the display and clearing should be at the top, actually. Oh wait, actually, I don't want to check for that. Actually, yeah, I do. Because if okay, so if display num then what we want to do is we want to do a shift memory here as well, I think. Or we want to put the current display content. This is kind of messy. Or, sorry, other way around. I think that works. We can try it. No, that wasn't good. 1 plus 2 plus 3. And that should be 6. But when let's do log state again. So that goes to memory. 2. And then so now the memory should be 2. Good. But then when we press the 3 here, the memory num should update, right? Oh, but it's because it. So if we do 1 + 2 + 4, it should equal 7 because the display num is. That's the trick here. Okay, so let's do 1 + 2 + 4. See, that worked. But this check wasn't going because when I was doing 1 + 2 + 3, it was the same. So this almost works, except for when the number you press is actually the same as what's already in the display. Or we could just put this. We could also put this check above this. Oops. This should actually fix it. There. That actually fixed it. So that works. So we can do like. Oh wait, no, hold on. That actually didn't. Okay, so you know when we press an operator, and there is otherwise we want to do the result. I see. Okay. So this is about what the operator is. So basically what we're having is when we do 2 × 5 and then we press the minus, it's seeing that the minus is the operator, not the times we pressed before. So we have to actually like perform the what's it called? We have to perform the computation before updating the operator. Right. Which actually, I think I can just do it like this. I don't actually think it even needs to be in that clause. So now this should work. Oh, we were close. 2 × 5 minus 3. See now this is so, okay. Wait, is that always true? This is a hack. I think that might fix it. Okay, I think that works. Because the I just needed to flip the subtract and divide symmetry here to reflect the new implementation that we did. So I think that works. I think that actually works. So now we can just implement the equals button, which should be the same as pretty much the same as the operator. So what we can do is we also have to check that there's something in the memory. Right. And then we can clear the... Do we have to shift memory? I think we do. This is almost exactly the same as... pretty much exactly the same as the operator, except we don't update the... text content of the operator. So we could abstract this logic into its own function, but I think for now I'm just going to leave it like that. So if we do 1 plus 3 equals 4, and then if we do plus C, so if we do 1 plus 2 equals 3, then what do we want to do? We have that, and then so we can type another number. So what we want to do actually is we want to shift the memory. Actually, instead of shifting the memory, I think what we want to do is what do we want to do? Actually, let me think about this. No, we do want to shift the memory. And then, do we want to clear the operator, maybe? Oh, maybe you're right. We could try not shifting the memory. Let's see what happens. Oh, you're right. But it's not actually updating the... Yes, and then you're right. It repeats the last operation. I forgot about that behavior. Good point. Good point. Good point. So this isn't updating. However, it's because we need to update the display num, maybe. Right. Good point. You're right. You are correct. So actually what we need to do for the equals button is we actually need to... Oh, but see if we update... If we update the display num... you know what? This might... Let's try this out. Okay, that works. But then if I do... Yeah, see, but then if I press another number, then it doesn't work. It just depends to it. Is when you press an operator. Yeah, you're right. You're right. So I got rid of that, but I updated the display number because that's what's keeping track of the running total. So if we do like 1 + 1... Yes, correct. I think you're right. So you refresh the display, but you don't actually shift the memory. That's a good point. But now this breaks what we had before a little bit. Because now if I wanted to... For instance, like if I did 1 + 1 ===, and then I have like a number in the result, because I'm updating the display number to show that result, and then I go to press something, it just appends to it. It doesn't actually refresh it. And there's an easy way I can get around this, but I don't like it. So what I could do is I can say let equals just pressed. I could just do a Boolean flag. And then when we press either a number button or... Wait, actually, hold on. Okay. Actually, you know what we can say is we can say if equals just pressed, then we clear. So if we press, so basically what I'm doing is I'm checking if we press the equal sign and then we go to press another number, it clears the display number. It's the only like hacky way I can think of doing this. Work. Okay. Let's see. Ooh. Okay, nah, that's not what we want. Oh, because I'm not setting equals just press to false here. That's why. That's true. Maybe that. So when you say, okay, so when you say I'm doing two variables, you mean with the memory and the display? I think the reason why I have the display in its own variable and not just like the text content of the display div is because there can be weird behavior if you don't do that. But I could be wrong. If you have I'd like to actually see your implementation because I'm just curious what you did. I'll look at it after stream or something, but yeah. So I think this works, right? And then if I just type there, that works. Okay. Sick. Display play in the actual results. Yes. So when you say display and result of screen, what's the difference? But I think we actually fixed this. I think this works. Right? So if we do 12 plus 7 minus 1, this should work. Display and result of screen doesn't relate to memory num. I'm gonna be honest, I'm still like unsure what you're asking. But I think I fixed it. I think this works actually. So now if we do you know, I think this yeah, there's the percentages. I don't know if I'm going to implement that. Oh, I see what you're saying. I see. So you're saying I should have two variables instead of one for that. So I have one variable for the actual number and then another variable for the what's actually shown on the display. I see what you're saying. That might be true. This is just the way that I thought about the solution in my head. No, that's fair. That's fair. I think the confusing part, Jill, is that like how do I put this? My understanding of my own solution is still iffy. So I think I'm having trouble like explaining exactly like what I'm thinking. I think the reason that I don't have a separate variable for the display is because that variable, you could think of calc display.textContent as a separate variable from display num, right? So you wouldn't really need a third variable to directly correspond to this, right? Like I'm kind of treating calc display.textContent as its own variable in a sense, sort of. So now there's just one more hiccup where if you, for example, if you do like 2 plus 2 plus, and then like without anything else, I press the plus again, it goes back to 2, yeah. So I think I just need to do or display num. Or and display num, sorry. I think I just need to do that. We will figure it out. We will figure it out. So, okay. I'm gonna walk through the reasoning behind why I put this and clause here in this am I winning? Yes. We're definitely better off than yesterday. Yesterday, I was too confused about what I was trying to do. Your previous approach of update display is better, I guess. Where you tell function what to update to. You mean my previous... Okay. When you say previous approach, do you mean what I was doing yesterday or now? It could have been that I had a better idea yesterday. I think yesterday was kind of a more naive approach, and I had too many working parts where I could simplify. Like I had this buffer system going on where I was like buffering the numbers. So basically yesterday, I'll explain hopefully in the best way that I can, Jill, what I was doing yesterday. So yesterday I had two numbers, right? I had the first number and the second number. And then what I was doing is I had a bunch of edge cases where I was updating through the... Oh, yeah, that's true. I think I just named it differently. Because this is more just a refresh. It's not actually like updating the global state. It's just kind of refreshing the display text. Right. So anyway, what I was doing yesterday is I had two variables, right? So I had the equivalent of display num and memory num, but I was updating both depending on different factors, like using the input. So the input would affect different variables with different conditions, and then that kind of created a mess that I didn't realize would happen. But now what I'm doing with what I'm doing in today's solution is I'm only updating display num with the input. Memory num doesn't get touched. It only gets, there's only a shift in memory. The memory num can only become the display num upon a triggered shift, but it can't actually be updated by the user directly, which is kind of like a way of consolidating state or minimizing state change as much as possible. Let it be anyway. It's distracting both of us. Yeah, no, that's fair. Hey, you know what? Part of why I'm doing these streams, not only to practice coding, but it's also to think through these problems with you and anyone else who may join in the future. So it's like kind of like brainstorming and studying as well as coding, right? Like that's kind of like what I'm going for here, so that we can all kind of learn, create a learning space for everybody. So it's all good, Jill. Like I really honestly appreciate your input. Like it's really helpful and insightful. So anyway, so I think this works. I was getting into the reasoning behind this clause here, and the reasoning I put this here was because without it, if I got rid of it, if I did like something like 2 plus 2 and then equals 4, and then I pressed like the plus, or wait, no, actually 2 plus 2 plus, and then I didn't press equals, but I kept pressing plus, you can see that the display num and the memory num get cleared out, which is kind of like not what I want to do. Exactly. Like admiring all perspectives. Exactly. So I think having this in here will actually fix that problem. Yes. Yeah, cool. So I think I think our basic operations are done. Now we can implement the urinary operations, which should be easier, actually. So the two, actually there's three. No, there's two. So the two urinary operations I have, unary, which is like binary is like 2, or like base 2. Binary is like a 2 system, so like includes 2 operands. Unary is like 1, so only includes 1 number. So a unary operation will only include 1 number, which are the plus minus and the square root. So plus minus is literally just toggling the sign. And then the square root obviously is just taking the square root. So what we'll do is we will implement the do unary operation for a and op. And then we'll just switch case of... Okay, so what we need to do is we need to figure out the... and then default... Okay, so we need to figure out the hex codes for the... So the square root is 221A. So this is square root. Or not. Okay. And then this is gonna be plus minus 00B1. So we'll say return string of let's say we can just do a ternary operator here. A is greater than 0. Negative A or A. Or no, actually, you know what we can do? We can say A divided by equals... Actually, can I do... No, I can't. Let's do that. This A equals... divided by equals -1. We'll just flip the sign like that. That's okay. It's a little janky, but that's okay. And then, so... Or wait, that's for plus minus. I had this in the wrong. There we go. And then for square root, we'll literally just return... I'm going to be lazy about this. I'm not going to implement my own square root algorithm with like a Newton's approximation. I think... Can you do that? I think there's a way you can do like a Newton's approximation of a square root. Or something like that. There's some algorithm for computing a square root, but I'm just going to use the math library. Just like that. And the other thing is when it comes to decimals, we'll have to deal with that. I actually have to, I didn't realize this, but in the display, like for example, if we do, I think, if we do like 1 divided by 3, yeah, so it's gonna, the decimal is gonna go way off. So what we actually need to do is we need to cut off the display to be maximum of 12 characters, right? So we actually need to do display dot, is it dot slice? I think, right? I think we just do like 0 to max num length, right? So I think that should work. So if we do like 1 divided by 3, yeah, that's better. So then that should only be 12 characters. 0, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 10, 11, well, 11. So this is non-inclusive. That's okay. Can't read properties of undefined. Oh. If there's any display at all. Oh no, that didn't work. What is the problem? Clear calc is the issue. Okay, so let's go back to the clear calc function. Oh, because there's no... we'll just do this. Right? Okay. Because it was expecting an argument in here, but it wasn't getting one. Okay. Nice. Cool. Now, we have this implemented. So we will do the same thing for unary op buttons dot for each. Okay. And then now we can say, so this should be easier because there's no actual like transfer to, we can just update the display num directly, I think, or whatever is on the display, right? So if we have a display num, we'll also say equals, just press false. We don't want to shift memory with the unary operations though. So we'll say, let results equal do unary operation of display num and the op dot text content. Okay, and then we'll say display num equals result. However, we need to truncate the result, don't we? So we'll do result dot slice 0 to max num length. Technically, I should probably be doing that for this one too. Actually, no, I'm not. No, I don't. I'm silly. Shift memory. Or wait, no, and then we update the display, refresh display. Okay. And then in the equals, we should also do this as well. So now if we do like 2, there, so that toggles that works. And then, sounds good, Jill. Have a great day. I don't know if I'm going to be live tomorrow, just FYI, but I'll probably be live Saturday. But thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I'll catch you around. There should maybe be a short coming out tomorrow. I have a short in the works, a YouTube short, so be on the lookout. Tell your friends. So yeah, thanks for sticking around. Cool. So I think the unary operations work. Coolio schmoolio. Where are we at for? Are we still at 12? We are. Okay. Okay, so I should... The new version's also up on my GitHub. If you are or if you're interested. Do a merge. And we'll do git checkout. Actually, if this is like stretching my... There we go. That's good. And then git checkout main. Right? Wait. Did that... no. Oh, yeah. Git pull. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. That should be good. I guess now I'll implement pressing a decimal point, because I think... Where do I want to do that? just below the numbers. Great. And then we'll say decimal points dot listener. Click. Oh jeez. There we go. Can't type. Can't type. Okay. How do I want to implement this? Change the font size. Back down so I can see a little better. Okay. It's kind of repeated code, but it's fine. Okay, that's good enough. It's kind of sort of broken, but it doesn't matter. Okay. Okay. I'm going to keep it there. Are you still there, Carolyn? Hi. Just was wondering. I just wanted to know. That's okay. That's okay. I just wanted to check in and see if you were still hanging around. Jill had to go, so you're my buddy until we get more fans. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to yet, because Jill has been really really respectful. But I'm going to add a rule that says no backseat coding. Only because I don't want to be thrown off my bullshit. You know what I mean? Oh, look, you regained your status. Okay, bet. Can you actually do that? That would actually be great. I respect Jill talking to me. Like, no, don't get me wrong. I like Jill talking about why you don't want to hear me yapping and like trying to defend myself. Okay, I'm gonna add that now. Actually, you know what? Okay, bet. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm actually gonna change the YouTube stream settings. Okay, now that Jill's gone, I can minimize, or not minimize chat, but like close it a little bit. Where the hecky is the rules? Okay, you know what? Actually, I might configure it after stream. I'll configure the rules after stream. Community moderation. Oh no, here we go. Wait, can I not add more rules? What? enough mucking around in the analytics. I was just checking my new video. It's performing well. I don't know if I would say it's performing well, but it's performing. It's picking up a little bit of steam. Wait, what? Oh. Okay. Okay. Let's go to Nightbot. Wait, what do you mean? Sorry. You mean which video? The second long form one I made on why you should code yourself. I'm just trying to... Now that no one's here to watch, I'm just doing some other housekeeping. Well, other than you. It wants me to do. So currently, I have a leaderboard of messages. So GLDev has 204 total messages. Carolyn, you have 187. And then there's a couple other randoms in there, but it's just you and Jill. Actually, let's see if this... Oh, sorry. Sorry, Jill. I was editing a rule. I was editing a rule for something with Nightbot. I was playing around with Nightbot. Okay. I was locked in. Okay, I'm back now. I'm back now. I was just screwing around with Nightbot. Okay. So, whoa, I didn't mean to hit my mic. What was I going to say? We are done the what's it called? We are done the foundations course. I also, Jill, I updated the calculator to GitHub, so you can pull the new version if you desire. And we're gonna move on to the rest of the topics. So next, we're gonna do intermediate HTML and CSS. So that's gonna be fun. Sounds good, Carolyn. Yeah, sounds good, Jill. No worries, no worries. Sorry, I didn't see you come back. I was locked in on another screen. So yeah, I think for the next couple of streams it might be kind of boring because I got to get through all of this, reading. It's going to be a lot of reading, but that's part of the documenting the process. Oh, right on. That is good timing. I was screwing around with Nightbot because I can see how many times each user's chatted. So I was just kind of having fun with looking at the metrics there. So far it's just you and Carolyn. Well, I've had a couple other people come in, and I had one guy come in that was kind of mean, and he said you should learn C++ instead, and you should never learn web development. That was like a bit ago. And I was like, nah, man, I got my own path here. But anyway, C++ isn't off the table for returning to eventually, maybe way down the future. But anyway. Yeah, true. It's just an opinion. But he was kind of rude. A little rude. I don't know. I'm also like, I should mention, I'm like brand new to doing this. I have never streamed before a week ago. And I did YouTube when I was really young. Like I was 12 years old, 13. And I'm 25 now. I just turned 25. So it's been a while since I've done YouTube. I made gaming content like in 2013 and stuff. so it's been a minute. So I'm kind of like, people on the internet still kind of like, oh, it's a bit scary, but no, it's fun. It's good. Especially with people that kind of, have their opinions about things, which is fine. You're entitled to that, but that's part of what you get into when you're online. So finally we're diving into CSS grid, CS grid. It's good. HTML elements reference. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna add that to the bookmarks list. Wait. Yeah. Holy moly. When am I going to React? Okay, so I'll lay this out for you. So I've got React is right here. So I have to complete the... What am I researching? So, like for this course... Thanks, Carolyn. See you later. When you say researching, do you mean like for this? Because there's, I thought you meant React. I was like, yeah, React is here. I'll learn React and Node as well. Which, I mean, I have like a very limited exposure to that. Oh, what am I going to do in this stream now? I'm going to start this lesson. So, intermediate HTML, CSS. Calculator's done for now. I finished the calculator. Well, the only thing I didn't implement was the percentages. But I can get you the... Here's the Git repository if you want to play around. I pushed my new changes to the GitHub. So... yeah, I'm done for now on the calculator, but we're going to revisit it later. So I'm going to mostly be doing research for the rest of the stream. If you don't want to stick around for that, I totally understand. So, but yeah, no, so there's courses here. So there's intermediate HTML, CSS, JavaScript, advanced HTML, CSS, React, databases, Node, and getting hired, which, I mean, I don't know if we're going to do this section actually, but because I already do have a job and I do want to eventually get a developer job, but for right now, I'm happy with my IT job. I can get more into that if you're curious. There's a lot of things I can't, I was most interested in project and problem like you did that day. Okay, so we're not, I will say, Jill, that we are not done with projects. So projects are not done. There are many projects coming up. So like for here, there's like an admin dashboard project for CSS. And then in the JavaScript section, there's like building a restaurant page and a to-do list app and a weather app. And then some basic like binary search trees and stuff. So we got a lot of juicy projects coming up. Or like implementing a linked list and stuff like this. Perfect, yeah. And then also, if you want and maybe more of the community wants, I can do some other project or whatever, like problem solving too. Like I could do, I don't know if you would be curious for me to do like leak code problems. I've actually never done leak code before. But I'd be interested in trying it. I know when I was in my degree, a lot of my classmates did leak code, but I never really I was never interested in leak code because I thought it was kind of just not a waste of time, but it was kind of just like extra on top of all my coursework that I had to do. Yeah, absolutely, Gio. Absolutely. The other thing we'll be doing too is once we finish this course, maybe with the help of the community, if my community grows by then, currently right now it's just you and Carolyn. But when my community grows, I want to make like a poll maybe on like what introductory projects I should work on. Because once I get finished the basic, full stack web DSA and stuff, but can't solve single question. Yeah, leak code's tricky. Leak code, from what I've heard, is tricky. Like any of the medium to hard problems are tricky. Yeah, it's tough, eh? Or like people use AI for leak code too, which I think is BS. I don't know how you can even detect it anymore, right? Like if someone uses AI for leak code, how do they even How do they even, you know, figure that out? But anyway, what I was going to say is that when I'm finished this course, when I'm finished the Odin Project course, my plan is to start a small personal project that you and the rest of the community that I build up by then decide on what I do. Maybe I build like some basic web app of some kind, whether it's like a, I don't know, maybe like a game or I don't know. I have no idea. But we're going to kind of see where it goes, I guess. So yeah. But no, for the remainder of the stream, I'm going to be reading into some HTML, CSS stuff. So for the next couple of streams, it'll be, yes, good time ahead. Tell your friends that if they should, or that they should join, join the channel. Because I'm still at 12 subscribers. I want to grow to hopefully 50 by the end of February. That's my goal. The end of next month, I want to get to 50 subscribers. I'm going to upload some more long form videos as well. Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, English, yeah, it's tough. That's true. I didn't really think about that. I guess, do they teach English in India? Like, is it like a commonly taught language, or is it more just for certain people that know English? Because I honestly don't know. I actually have a coworker from Nepal who speaks English quite well. Right. I have actually seen quite a bit of, and I don't mean to stereotype or anything, because I don't know what language. I know that India has a very diverse set of languages, but I would presume a lot of tutorials are like I've seen a lot of Hindi tutorials, for instance, right? Like CS tutorials in Hindi. Yeah, that's fair. And I actually had a friend in my degree from India, and he had kind of a group of Indian friends, and they would all kind of speak Hindi to each other, and they all kind of had a network of tutorials that they would watch and stuff like that. But it's really cool to, like, Gio, like, you're basically bilingual. Like, you speak like good English and your native tongue as well, so you're better than me. I only speak English, unfortunately. I am actually half Portuguese. Like, my family is from Portugal on my mother's side, so my grandparents are fluent in Portuguese. But I never learned. I never learned Portuguese. So I'd like to, though, someday. I'd like to learn a second language. I feel like it would kind of enrich my life a little bit. So this is a cool like cheat sheet here. Duolingo, that's good. I used Duolingo for French like forever ago. Because in Canada, French is taught in school. And I learned a bit of French, but I wasn't very good. Like, you know, It was a bit of a struggle. That was also like 10 years ago when I was in high school. Gosh, I haven't been in high school since before the pandemic, so it's been a long time. This is a cool sheet though. I'm gonna add this to. Wait, did I already add it as a bookmark? Yeah, I did. Okay. You can also, what I was going to mention about English is feel free to like, if you are confused about anything in English, like feel free to ask if you want. I don't mind. If you want to learn some more, I can try to explain. I'd be happy to help out. So yeah, we know about Emmett already. I made a reel about this, which actually got more views than I thought it would. Yeah, so I already know about Emmett. This is good. Oh, I see what you mean. So like you forget to add like the suffixes. Like so ing and ed, like that's like a suffix at the end of words, because English you kind of add those kind of at the end. I hear you. Yep. That's great though. Like honestly, as long as I'm understandable, I think my biggest concern is as long as I make sense. Because I don't want to be, I hope I'm not misunderstood. I mean, it's tricky to explain my thought process sometimes, but as long as you can get value out of my videos, then I'm happy, and my streams. Okay, that's great. I'm glad. Perfect. As long as you're comfortable, I'm also comfortable. So it's great to hear. So yeah, I just want to make sure that everyone's doing well in that way. So yeah, the other thing that my goal for these kinds of streams too is if you're working on homework or whatever whatever you're up to. If I know that the timing is weird with time zones and all that, but kind of my goal as well is that you can kind of just put my stream on in the background and we can kind of study together. You could work on your own thing and I could do my thing. It's kind of like a a mutual motivation session, I guess, where we can each study. So, and it's kind of interesting because I'm not in school anymore. So it's, I'm kind of just doing this on my own off hours. So yeah, SVGs are great. Yeah, absolutely. So I totally get it if you don't want to stick around for me just like reading stuff, but I think that's what the rest of this stream is going to be. And then I'll probably cap it off tonight at 10 o'clock. because I want to shower and go to bed because it's been a long day. But yeah, sounds good. I'll keep the stream on for another 40 minutes anyway, Gio, but again, man, I really appreciate you coming around and being a part of my community and kickstarting this journey of mine, and kind of, yeah, I don't know. It's really great. I'm super excited for the future and to see where this goes. And be on the lookout. Tomorrow, I'm going to upload a new YouTube short on my thoughts surrounding, I'll give you a little teaser. It's going to be about why programmers should embrace failure as a part of the learning process, and why that's good for you and your professional development. So that's going to be good. I'm working on that. So yeah, if you have any other like ideas for kinds of videos you'd want to see from me, like, let me know as well, because I honestly don't know what content I want to make yet, that other than streaming. I really don't know. I'm kind of figuring it out. All right, Gilles has left the building. Thank you for coming. Now we're at 0 viewers, but it's okay. Let's see if this works. Come on, Nightbot, wake up. Oh wait, it's the wrong. That's neat. Very cool article. Right, table row and table header, table data. Okay, so this actually wouldn't be foundations. Make dir oh, whoops. Okay, call span and row span. You get hippopotamus and crocodile to span across 2 columns. Column elements represent the table columns from the start. Let's have a look. Okay. First and second columns. We're not targeting those columns with any styles. We need to include them. Second and fourth ones don't have a span attribute set, so they represent a single column. Column background. Yeah. Okay, I see. Okay, so, alright, that's fine. T head, T body. Oh, you can add captions too. Okay, let's read this actually legitimately here. Table can be a handy tool for giving us quick access to data. Yeah. What if you cannot make those visual associations? Okay. Oh, you just add the call span attribute. Wait, so can I do like call span? Two. Ah. Okay, so that does work. And then I can do row span as well. Call span or contains non-negative integer value, then it gets how many rows a day spent. Extends 0. No. Oh, and then we do row span equals 2. Okay. I see. Okay. Scope. So, yeah, the scope attribute can be added to the th element to tell screeners exactly what cell the header is a header for. Wait, so can data have their own row spans? Yeah, they can. And call spans, assuming. Nice. Okay. So that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Okay. Yeah. And then you can, okay. Okay, screeners recognize this structure. Scope has 2 more possible values. Call group. They're used for headings. It's over top of multiple columns or rows. Oh, yeah, okay, I see. ID and headers. To create associations between data cells and header cells. Okay, I see. Add an ID to headers, and then for the header cells, add the headers attribute to each of the th elements that acts as subheading. And then for the data cells, add headers, plain scope and headers. Okay. Actually, let's open that again. Okay, let's do this challenge, and then we'll end stream for tonight, I think. So start the table off by giving an outer container, a table header, and a table body. Okay. So we'll say table, and then we'll say, what was the tag? Is it T-head? Yeah. Okay. And then the caption is this. Okay. Add the provided caption. Okay, add the row and table header containing all the column headers. add a row to the table header containing all the column headers. I see. So what's the like final product? Okay, here we go. So tr and then th times what, like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11. That's a lot. So call span equals 2. And it's blank. I think there's a, what was the... NBSP, that's what I was looking for. Do I want to make these call groups as well? Or what do I want to do? Create all the content rows inside the table body. Remember to make all the row headings into headings semantically. So terrestrial planets. Oh, columns. Here we go. Name. Okay. So it's not a column group. There's no column group. So it's just scope equals column. And then we'll say ID equals name and name. And scope column ID equals... Actually, I'll copy paste this guy. So if you have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. So we have name, mass. And then 10, 24. kg. And then diameter. In kilometers. And density in kg divided by, oh wait. I'm just gonna copy these. And then we have gravity. And length of day. Or I could just do day length. Or just day. Sun distance. And then temp. Moons. And notes. Okay, there's all those. And then in the body we want our So all of these need to span. So okay, so we have the terrestrial planets. So we have a how are we gonna do this? Okay, so that's all the rows. Okay, so then create all the content rows inside the table body. Remember to make all the row headings into headings semantically. Okay, so let's try this out. So we can say that the th is a scope of a row group and a span of 4. Right? Do I have to include that? Yeah, I can include it in a table row. Right. Do I have to semantically? I don't think so. For TR, no. Okay. TR I don't have to touch. There's no attributes for TR. Yeah. Okay. And then we'll do the scope row. Oh, wait, that didn't work. How do I add scope equals row Mercury? Oh, and then we could do a ID. Actually, do I want to do that? Let's see what we're working with here. Okay, we're getting somewhere. That's good. So we want to have I'm not going to worry about this. ID diameter. So okay, so the headings can just be what they are. TH. I don't think that. I don't know. Scope is row. And then we can do Mercury. Oh no, but this is in a different row, right? Venus. Right. Oh wait, that's not what I wanted to do. Row span. That's it. Okay. And then this needs to be copied. Actually, you know what? We'll do the data for... Did we include ID and oh, I see. ID. See, ID is terrestrial. And we'll say ID equals Mercury. And then headers is terrestrial. And then headers ID equals Venus. Headers terrestrial. Earth. And Mars. Okay. And then we're going to do another, right? Scope is row group. The other thing I want to do is expand. Oh, you know what? That's what we were looking for. That's what I wanted. Okay. And then the Jovian planets. So then these headers are all name as well, right? Name terrestrial. Name terrestrial. Name terrestrial. Row group, and then we want to do a call or a row span of 4, and then Jovian planets. We'll do ID is Jovian. And then Jovian planets. Then we'll also say is a row group as well. Row span is 2. ID is gas, and headers is Jovian. Gas giants. And then the ice giants are very similar. Whoa. Jovian and then ice. Okay. And then one more. Row. ID is Jupiter. Headers is Jovian gas. Right? And then we just include the same for Saturn. Uranus. Jovian ice. And then the Neptune. And then we do one more row. Row group. ID is dwarf planets. I'll just do dwarf. Oh, and then row span, or call span is 2. And then we'll do another heading. ID Pluto. And then headers is dwarf. Name. Oh, these are all named too, aren't they? Name Jovian. Okay, so name Jovian gas. Right. Oh, I screwed something up here. Not row span. I screwed something up. Maybe do I put this guy in here? That's better. Got it. Nice. Okay. There's our headers set up. And then now it's just a matter of putting in the data. Oh yeah, we can do the call span thing too. Or call group. Right? And we could say call. Wait, what was the shorthand? Call span. Okay. Call span equals 2. And then we'll say call class equals, and then what was the class we wanted to add for it? Column border. Right. And then call span is like 10, I think, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9. There, now there's the outline. Now we just need to fill in the data. So we'll do that. So Mercury, TD, let's just say I don't think TD needs a scope, does it? No, just headers. Okay. Just headers. So the headers will be so mass, Mercury, terrestrial. Think. And then the mass for Mercury is 0.330. Okay, and then we copy this 8 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's not mass, it's diameter, which is 4,879. Density is 5427. Gravity is 3.7. Day is, wait, that's right, day, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 underneath, yeah. So the day is apparently 42 4,222.6 hours. That's quite a while. That is quite a long day. Okay. And then we'll say, so day and then sun distance. So this is quite a bit. And then we'll say that's, what is that? 57.9. Temp. Temp is 167 degrees Celsius. Very hot. Moons. Has 0 moons. Notes. Closest to the sun. Okay, there's Mercury done. Right. Okay, and then we just have to copy this sucker for Venus. So Venus is 4.87. 87. Uh, 12,100. 104. Yeah, no crypto. No crypto. I don't want crypto in here. No thanks. I'm literally just doing a table challenge, and then I'm going to be finished. But it's just HTML. Intermediate HTML. So, okay, so now 12,104. And then the density is 5243. And gravity is 8.9. Very similar to Earth. A little less. 2802.0. Probably an easier way to do this, but that's okay. Okay, and then what's this? Sun distance is 108.2. Um, 464. That's very hot. 0 moons, and then no notes. Let's try and like, can I do like a control command F? Find Venus. I just want to do it for the selection though. I don't know how to do that. Earth. Okay. Replace. Perfect. Okay. Earth is 5.97. 12,756. 5514. 9.8. And 24 degrees. apparently. Seems a little high to me, but that's okay. 149.6. 15. Or sorry, no, that's day, not temperature. I thought that was temperature. That's the day length. The temperature is 15 degrees. That makes more sense. Okay. Okay, Mars is 0.642. Average temperature of -65. The red planet. Okay. Now we'll do TD headers equals mass Jupiter gas Jovian. Okay, mass diameter density gravity day sun distance temp moons notes. So the mass of Jupiter is 1898 142 1326 3.1. Which project is this one? It's a project for, it's specified, it's a tables assessment for Mozilla. What's the D stand for? Developer Network? So it's literally just inputting data. It's so dry, but I'm doing it because I'm a completionist, right? Or Jupiter. Slay, exactly. We're almost done. We're on Saturn. So 568. How big is it? 120, 536. 687. 9.0 gravity. The day length is 10.7. 14. 13.5. Negative 140 degrees. 62 moons. And no notes. Or not Jovian, whoops, gas. There we go. Uranus is 86.8. Mass. Diameter is 51,118. 1271. Density, gravity is 8.7. Day length is 17 hours. 0.2. Sun distance is 2872. 0.5. Temperature is a very cold negative 195. And we got 27 moons. Neptune is 102. 49,528. I didn't actually know Uranus was bigger than Neptune. Uranus. 1638. 16.1. 4495. Negative 200 degrees. 14 minutes. Okay. And then now we just have to do Pluto. So we'll do Mercury, Pluto, bam, bam, bam. And then terrestrial with dwarf. .0146. 2370. 2095. 0.7 gravity, like no gravity. Day length is 153.3. 590. Oh wait, what is this? Sun distance is 5,906.4, and then we'll do temperature is cold, negative 225. It's 5 moons. Declassified as a planet in 2006, but this. span here. Remains controversial. Okay, that is the end of this project, I think. Let me see. Looks right to me. It's a freaking pain. If anything, if I learned anything from this little exercise, is that you do not represent data in HTML. It's garbage, and it's way too semantic. But you know, that's the way it goes. So thank you for tuning in to today's stream, and I'll catch you probably Saturday. I don't know if I'm going to do a morning stream yet or an evening stream, but that is to be determined. But thank you for watching.